explosion of noise because the Beatles were there, and the fans went nuts. And they walk in with our manager, Brian Epstein, the four guys, and they had a couple of their entourage. They walk up, everyone shakes hands. Elvis is so-and-so and so-and-so. Elvis sits in a chair, and the four Beatles sit down on the floor in front of Elvis in a semicircle. Ringo, Paul, John, and George, cross-legged. Because if you saw, some of you have seen Elvis. My God, he looks like he stepped out of the Bible, like King David or something. So all of a sudden, there's a silence in the room. It went on for about 15 seconds. That's a long time. It got a little bit weird, eerie. And Elvis said, well, the hell with you guys. I'm going to my bedroom. You don't want to talk to me. And everyone laughed, and it broke the ice. And John and Paul, and they all stood up, and John said, Elvis, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, man. You're the guy. I got into all this because of you. I learned the guitar because of you. There'd be no Beatles. There'd be no one else. You did it, man. We want you to know that we love you. And that's why we're here. You're the man. You're it, So they were sincere, and they were speaking the truth. So as the night wore on, Colonel Parker and Brian went into the living room because the colonel had a roulette table set up, and they talked shop amongst themselves. All of our guys went in another part in the other room, and then we had a pool table. So Ringo and George went, and Red and Sonny and Alan and Richard, they all went in the other room, played pool. And Jerry and myself and one other guy sat with Elvis, John, and Paul in the den. And Elvis had all of his guitars on stands. John said, Elvis, can I play the guitar? And I said, yeah, man, pick it up. John picks up one of Elvis' guitars. So, there was a bass. And Paul said, Elvis, can I? Yeah, man. Picks it up. Elvis turns around and picks up his Martin. They start playing, strumming together. And I'm thinking to myself, in the space-time continuum, I'm in the perfect place. Where else? This is perfection. This is the magic moment. Elvis and the Beatles, and they started singing a couple of songs. And went on for about, now in those days, forget cell phones, There were not even cassettes in those days. Elvis had in the room a reel, the big reel-to-reel tapes, but no one recorded anything. If you ever hear someone record this, because I've heard. And Colonel Parker would not allow any pictures to be taken, so not even pictures were taken. But those guys played. It was magical. It was beautiful. And a few other cool things happened, but I want to keep moving because there's a few other things I want to cover. It was a wonderful, wonderful time, and Elvis really liked those guys a lot. And he and John had Elvis's hot number, real private phone number. And over the years, they spoke a few times.